boys and girls and others. This is Black Eye Senpai here, and I'm going to be basically doing a lore video today. I've been meaning to do it for months, just been a little bit lazy, and I decided today's the day. If today's the day that it will happen, it's going to happen. I'm going to give it to you, but not in that way that you want. But today, the lore that we are going to be covering will be Dragonic Overlord. And I'm going to be going over all his forms as per whatever is on Wikipedia. If you guys find like an official monthly Bushy Road thing that you want me to read and on another unit, just message me through YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Um anyway, here we go. The dragon who stands above all dragons, bearing the mantle of Overlord. He is a commander of the aerial assault unit Kagero, of the militaristic nation of the Dragon Empire. Due to its ability to overwhelm all others in battle, it has earned the title of the Crimson Reaper and the Wind of the Apocalypse. When it breathes eternal flame, a breath weapon compared to the eternal fires of damnation, all before him tremble at the fear at unending flames of despair. To settle the long lasting war, the Empire's strongest dragon soldier, Dragonic Overlord, used his own lifespan as fuel to further evolve himself into Dragonic Overlord the End. Using the forbidden black arts to change the flames of his own life force, he charges towards the Royal Paladin unit, Blaster Blade, and the Shadow Paladin unit, Phantom Blaster Dragon, with his new powers, making this his answer. Flapping his four flaming wings, the brutal dragon mows down all opponents that stand in his way as he soars overhead. Bitter enemies will be fired upon immediately. He then speaks. My wish isn't special, for I wish only to fight them. This life, right now, exists for the sake of this single moment, this single instant in time, and no other. It is then rumored that Dragonic Overlord the End has perished because of the use of this black magic to transform him into the End. But, as we all know, Dragonic Overlord was the strongest general of the Empire, one who bears the name that leads all dragons, Overlord. At the end of the previous war, due to recoil of the forbidden magic that he laid his hands on, he didn't lose his life, but instead fell into a deep sleep. Nobody could tell when he would wake up. And even then, he is still in a state of comatose. Link Joker considers him as one of the most dangerous factors and sealed him along with Blaster Blade and Phantom Blaster Overlord. However, he was released unharmed later. In order to prevent the same situation from happening again, from using that same black magic, he was moved to a fortified morgue right underneath the Empire. However, there has been an increasing amount of people who want to treat him as dead because he doesn't show signs of waking up, added with the fear of the power of reverse, has caused part of his superior officers to initiate a plan to dispose of the remains in the large coffin, protected by layers and layers and layers of magical barriers, where the hustle and bustle of the outside world does not reach. Dragonic Overlord sleeps, without knowing that the unexpected day of rebirth is imminent. He's Dragonic Overlord, the Overlord who's fit the title of the strongest in the past, and the one who possesses the potential to reign over all dragons. The ferocious attack of Link Joker has forced the Empire into a disadvantageous position, and they managed to reach the great coffin in which Dragonic Overlords slumber. These Star Vaders intended to accomplish their most important missions: the recapture of the three heroes, Dragonic Overlord, Phantom Blaster Dragon, and Blaster Blade. Since they were blocked by a barrier which protected the coffin, they tried to extract, copy, and reverse the dragon's mind, just as they would have done when invading the Aquaforce with Maelstrom. However, just before they could reach the consciousness of the dragon, the subterranean area was devoured by a pillar of fire that penetrated from even the heavens. From the ominous black flame, the strongest raging dragon of the Empire appeared. Even the power of void is bent to its will. Undying, unyielding, unrestricted, the dragon soared in the azure, Paying no attention to the rabble, he flew towards the radiance of the sword flashing in the faraway land of white. And then he says, I only have one wish and one ambition to settle the duel between me and my rival. According to the monthly Bushiroad short novel from February 2014, for Dragonic Overlord The Rebirth, the Starvaders carried out an attempt to bring the three heroes in the past to their side via the power of reverse. They snuck into Dragonic Overlord's tomb under the cover of the chaos created by Vowing Saber Dragon Reverse and Dauntless Dominant Dragon Reverse. Their first attempt was to make off with the entire body of Dragonic Overlord. Since that objective was proven to be too hard, they just went directly connected to the target's mind by duplicating its consciousness and reversing it later, just like they did with Maelstrom. Meanwhile, Dragonic Overlord met a mysterious entity in his mind. The entity promised Dragonic Overlord the power to wake him up from his slumber, but in return, the entity wanted a certain swordsman of light named Blaster Blade dead. Just as Dragonic Overlord was about to take this power, something inside him snapped. No! Power is not something that is to be given. It is something that you grasp with your own hands. The Starvader snuck in connected successfully with Dragonic Overlord's consciousness. However, during the attempt, the consciousness of Dragonic Overlord woke up from his slumber, burning all the Starvaders around it. The void that was inserted into his mind was burned to ashes by his exceptionally strong soul and became but another source for its power. My name is Dragonic Overlord, one who bears the title of Overlord. Sometimes I am a tyrant. Sometimes I am the strongest general in the Empire, until everyone calls me the Grim Reaper. I have only one intention and one wish, to settle things with my rival, once and for all. Dragonic Overlord the Cross. He's Dragonic Overlord who has completely predominated his inner void during the Invasion Great War. This is his form at the end of the Second Invasion War in the original world of Unaltered Histories. Thanks a lot, Xenon. With armaments granted from the Emperor when he was revived. The modern age, when the majority of the Empire's power holders have changed, he who possesses overwhelming power is said to be a miracle that occurs once per decamillennium, and no man in the Empire hasn't heard his name. Before the phenomenon of stride began, the Empire had received a report of related to interdimensional crosstalk. The report talks about a mysterious observation that two overlords in the past forms of Dragonic Overlord show up together and disappear. In addition to the simultaneous emergence of overlords phenomena, very similar to this occurrence have been reported after the first one, and eventually the warriors are materialized into physical forms. What is happening on this world? Why is this happening? Now, warriors of new generations stand up to uncover the truth behind this scene. Dragonic Overlord the Ace, the valiant general whose name will be immortalized as the mightiest warrior of the Empire in the future. There have been many famous generals, but his fame is beyond the norm of famous generals, for he is praised as the deity of war by the Emperor's warriors. His name has been referred to in historical texts of other nations more than any emperor, usually illustrated as a vicious demon neighboring nations would conflict with frequently with the empire. According to Gear Chronicle, the hero of the Holy Nation and the raging dragon of the Empire are especially unique beings, for they possess the power to influence the world's fate and future in this world, as well as in all parallel worlds. The raging dragon's form with the title Ace is one of the possibilities from the future of an unaltered altered time space-time. Just like the raging dragon of his spacetime had fallen in adversity once and managed to return the battlefield with his sword, even his comrades would tremble before his devastating strength. He is undoubtedly the mightiest of the empire. Afterwards, he succeeded in conquering all nations of Krei. The dragon proclaimed himself Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon, the ruler of all under Krei's heaven, and dominated the world as its first emperor. Will his space time In this space time, where Gear Chronicle visit Dragonic Dragon Empire as its territory was utterly unified, head to different futures. The mightiest warrior of the Dragon Empire and the leader of the biggest battalion of assault troop Kagero, one of the two main armies of the Empire. During this time of this form, there is a well known rumor in the Empire that he refused the Emperor's edict of promotion into the upper command in order to stay on the front line. The upper command spoke to the Emperor that Dragonic Overlord should be imprisoned for his disloyalty, but the Emperor turned down their proposal. The dragon that has continued to fight on the battlegrounds for such a long time since then, even cutting down heads of fierce generals and burning every bit of famed troops, could not grant him the excitement at the same time. The rival in the past, even though they had exchanged blades many times, the man disappeared before their rivalry is settled. The mightiest rival, White Swordman, after all, is human and cannot escape senescence. Perhaps he has already passed away. But the raging dragon's soul could tell that the two rivals would eventually meet again for sure. He is Dragonic Overlord, the legend. All right, so that was all of them. Please excuse my fumbling, bumbling over some words and stuttering, I guess. Like I said, if you enjoyed this, let me know. Please comment below, like if you would like to hear any other lores, chain of lores. Like as long as it's like on Wiki or Monthly Bushy Road, I'll read it for you. I don't care. Because I know I enjoy reading some things like this, like the history, but or the lore behind some units or some events that happened, why things are like what they are. Um, so yeah, I guess you could call this uh weeb fight Vanguard or lore fight, whatever. Uh, anyway, Black Guy Senpai out. Also, uh, remember that in about a week. Actually, no. At the yeah, it should be at the end of this week. I will be doing box openings for Fighters Collection 2016, so stay tuned for that. Um, all right, I'll see you guys later.